Good evening. So we'll do, it'll probably be like 30, maybe 40 minutes of yin, and then we'll move into our seated meditation. And I'll do a guided meditation. We're gonna do a visualization of a garden. It's a really lovely meditation. I've done it a few times, a handful of times. But first, let's start just seated, and we'll take a few minutes just to ground our bodies here in the present. So finding a comfortable seat before we head into yin. Sit up nice and tall. You can sit on a block or a bolster. Allow your eyes to close, but do try to feel nice and tall through your spine. And allow the eyes to close if you haven't already. And then we slowly shift our attention onto our breath, in and out your nose. My soul is restless until it rests in you. From St. Augustine. Why this emphasis placed on sustained attention? Well, what is the alternative? Spend a little quiet time today pondering the past or the future. As you do this, get a sense of your internal state. No doubt, your emotions will follow the ebb and flow of your thoughts, with happy memories producing good feelings and unhappy ones giving rise to bad feelings. The emotions are authentic, but the circumstances are contrived. Floating on a sea of fantasy, our emotional lives are held captive to the endless soap operas produced by our vivid imaginations. All of the practices of yoga are aimed at ending this bondage to an imagined reality. Now, spend a little time being really connected to something you love. Give your full attention to your family, your work, your body floating in asana. Grounded in the real, how do you feel? You may feel sad, you may feel afraid, but however you feel, you can trust that these feelings are based on reality. Sustained attention, like endurance to the marathon runner, allows us to show up for things that matter. Anchored in the real, we can evolve and grow. The problems of our lives can be worked through. And as we do this work in the present moment, our souls find peace. Rolf Bates. Stay present with your breath. Place one hand over your heart and one over your tummy. Just feel this gentle connection, the temperature from the palms to the torso. Notice the gentle wave-like action as the breath moves through your body. Rooted, grounded in the present. Group intention to send loving kindness to ourselves as well as the world around us. in our homes, in our communities, and all around. Loving kindness. Prayers for peace. If it speaks to you, set a personal intention for your practice this evening. What might you find uplifting, brings something that brings you a sense of peace, contentment? I am whole. I am enough. There needs no fixing. Sweep your arms overhead. Hands draw down to our heart. 2 more. Big breath in, reach up. Exhale, hands come down. 1 more. Inhale. Open mouth, sigh. Hands come onto our thighs. Inhale, arch. A little bit of movement. Seated cat-cow. Exhale, round. We can keep the eyes closed though, staying internally focused. Notice how you feel as you move. Arch. Exhale, round. 1 more. Exhale. Come back neutral. For our first yin pose this evening, let's come into Sphinx. So we'll come belly down, extend our legs behind us. And we can always start off with our arms crossed in front of us and forehead resting onto the forearms. Legs extend long behind us. And just allow your legs, hips, tummy to just be really soft. Close your eyes. We'll go shift into a very subtle Ujjayi breath. If you'd like to prop up onto your forearms, feel free to prop up onto your forearms. We could always rest the forehead on a block in front of us. And we can hold the head upright or let it dangle forward. And slump in your shoulders. We soften. Allow the whole body to relax. You need a little bit more compression in the lower back. Feel free to simply bend the knees. Allow the feet to kind of float upward. Not hugging the heels to the glutes. Soft belly. And our breath is full. And breathe in, relax. Exhale, soften. In the beginning part of the pose, the posture, the shape, we tune into our breath. We establish a nice steady rhythm with the breath. Our breath becomes the barometer. If it starts to get choppy, or we start to hold the breath, whatnot, force it. And that's usually a good indication that we've pushed it past our appropriate edge. We might need to back off a little bit. If you'd like to extend the legs long, take the hands to the corners of the mat and press up into seal. You can press up into seal. We might keep a bend in the elbows. Allow the chest or tummy to come closer. You might straighten the arms. And some of us might slide the hands underneath the wrists, underneath the shoulders, almost like we're pushing into an up dog, but then you hang out in your upper arm bones. And let the chest kind of come through the arms. If this seal pose causes any kind of pain in any way, shape, or form, then we need to lower back down into Sphinx. Breath is smooth, even. Seal pose. We'll slowly lower back down, chest lowers, and come onto the forearms. And you just simply tune in to the subtleties, the change in sensation. Might kind of be a little bit of a rush of sensation before it slowly starts to subside. Become the observer, the witness. If you're in Sphinx and your knees are bent, lower your feet to the floor. Three more breaths. And slowly lower all the way down. You can cactus your arms. We'll go into half frog. Right knee sweeps up to the right side of us as we lower chest and head down. Relax your whole body. We're gonna switch sides. Extend the right leg behind us. Lift head, gaze left, and sweep left knee up to the left side of us. And then we go internal. Close the eyes. Feel your body lying here on the ground, supported. Softness, ease, gentle movement as the breath moves through the body. few more breaths here. Observing, noticing what's happening inside of you, sensation-wise. The inner witness. One more breath. We'll extend the left leg behind us. Slowly, no rush. Press up, move into child's pose. Knees wide. Tummy relaxes through your thigh. Maybe we take the biceps closer to the head and take the hands into a prayer position at the back of the head or neck. Soft Ujjayi pranayama. Extend the arms forward. Come up on the hands and knees, and we'll do butterfly. If you need to take this on your back instead of the forward fold, by all means, soles of the feet come together, knees wide, and then you can recline back. So soles of the feet come together and we create a nice diamond shape. So we do not want to hug the heels in too close to the groin. A block might come in between the legs, or for some of you, it might be on the feet. And then we just slowly start to round forward. Maybe the forehead's on the block. Maybe the forearms are on the block. We might hold our head up, or we might let it round forward. And close your eyes. Breathe in and out through your nose. And try to find softness. So no use of muscles. Whole body goes limp. Breathe in, relax. Exhale, soften the face, jaw, cheeks. Relax your arms and shoulders. Down the spine, soft. Belly drops out. Hips, legs, relax. And then scan your body. Are you holding on to unnecessary tension or tightness anywhere? Is it possible to allow it to relax? You might notice as we hold a little longer, your body releases and you want to fold a little deeper. As long as there's no pain, that's okay. But if your body starts to tighten up, kind of get grip, grasp, waiting for time to end, and that's usually a strong indication we're past our edge. Last couple breaths here. Slowly, no rush. If you're on your back, you get to stay. If you're seated, slowly start to lift the head, walk the hands back, and then just pause, lean back into your hands. If you're on your back, a couple things you could do. We could bring the inner thighs and knees together, take the feet wide, or we could extend the legs long into Shavasana. And then we just pause, resist temptation for movement. Observe. And if you're seated, nice and slow, extend your legs forward. And then again, just pause, observe. And we'll start to add gentle movement. We can point and flex the toes back and forth, or we can slide the heels in so knees bend, and windshield wiper the knees side to side. So option for swan or sleeping swan, so half pigeon pose. If that bothers your knee and you'd rather take figure 4 on your back, if you have a wall handy, since it's yin, I definitely recommend it. Plant your left foot on the wall and then cross your right ankle to your left knee for figure 4. Or if you're doing swan, sleeping swan, then we're going to go right knee forward. And because it's yin, we get to use our props. So maybe a bolster underneath your chest, padding underneath your right hip. And then make those adjustments. And we come forward. And we're on the clock. Know that if we do, need to make adjustments mid-pose, start to experience, working toward those pain sensations, we definitely want to heed the warning and back off. And allow your eyes to close if you haven't already. Smooth out your breath. Breathe in, relax. And exhale, we soften. Gravity has its way with us. Sink deeper. And just ride the wave of sensation. as it ebbs and flows. Staying present. If you want to move into a little shoulder rinse and twist, you can prop up and thread the left arm underneath the right. Slowly bring your left shoulder down, left temple down. Some of you might even half bind with right arm behind the back. But it's yin, so we should be super soft. It definitely shouldn't hurt. If it does, we need to unwind. Wave-like action through your body with your breath. As you exhale, soften. The last couple breaths. And slowly, if you're bound, we unwind and prop up onto the forearms. Go really slow. And maybe keep your eyes closed if possible. Stay internal. Scooch the left knee forward a little bit. Free your right knee. Gently release back into embryo or child's pose, whichever sounds most ideal. Notice sensation. Stay internal. The option to stay in stillness, or if you want to add a little bit more movement, you can come to hands and knees for cat-cow and just super mellow cat-cow. Or maybe you work into down dog, just a very brief down dog and like super lazy pedal of the heels. Just like try to like as little effort as possible. And we'll set up for the other side. And if you're on your back, that's fine. You know, stay on your back, and then we'll cross left ankle to right knee for figure 4 on the back, or left knee forward for swan or sleeping swan. Swan is just upright, and sleeping swan is chest forward. So there's no rush. Making adjustments, grabbing your block for rest for forehead or forearms, or patting underneath left hip. We're already on the clock. And side to side can be different. So, you might, if this is the tight side, we might not go down quite as far so fast. Close your eyes and use your breath as an anchor. And as you hold, if it feels appropriate to allow your body to rest deeper, you can. You breathe in, relax. Exhale, soften. Scan your body. Notice, start with the head, the forehead. Notice where you're holding on to tension. Little bit by bit. We allow it to melt. And just observe what rises and falls. And if you did so on the other side and you want to take a little twist here, you might lift the head up briefly, prop up onto the forearms, thread right arm under, right shoulder down, right temple down. Maybe left hand gently behind the back. But we're not striving, straining, struggling. Kind of like a bump on a log. Just let go, no effort. Breathe into your low belly, low back. One more big breath. Slow, slow. Very gentle, and we stay internally focused. Unwind, and maybe we do so with our eyes closed. If you're on your back, uncross. You might extend your feet up, or you might push off the wall. Gently windshield wiper. Sleeping swan, slowly coming to hands and knees. And then again, you decide whether we go back into embryo for a moment, or maybe we do gentle and lazy cat-cows or down dog. But study the internal landscape. How do you feel? Not necessarily what you feel. You can let go of labels, judgments. It feels good if you've been in embryo or child's pose. Slowly come up, kind of wag a little bit side to side. And then we'll find our way for seated meditation. If you have a wall to lean up against for seated meditation, I definitely recommend that, just so that you don't really have to fight. You know, the wall's there to help support you. You can take your block or your bolster near your wall and cross the legs. And if you do get a little cold with meditation, you might take a wrap around you. Just sit up, kind of lean against the wall. So you don't really have to, much effort. Close your eyes. If you want to sit, without the wall support, that's okay. Or maybe you sit near the wall, and if we need the support, we can lean against it. Close your eye. If you need to at any time, we can always readjust the legs, or we could recline at any time. And that's another option as well. The legs just start to say, no, not today. Honor your body. Loop your shoulders up and back a couple of times. And then gently tilt your head side to side, a little neck stretch. Allow your shoulders to relax down your back. And feel the heaviness of your pelvis in contact with your prop or the floor. And that long line of energy growing upward through the crown of the head, up the spine. Take a big breath and an open mouth sigh. One more. Let it go. Seal your lips. Let the breath just be natural. No ujjayi. Very soft, natural breath. Let's take a few moments to ground yourself. And in your mind's eye, I'd like you to visualize yourself sitting in a lovely garden. The garden is grassy, and you are sitting at its very center. Enjoy the feeling of the earth beneath you, giving you centering energy and calming your mind. Just take a moment. Maybe you feel the blades of grass or the sun on your face. Maybe you notice it's a blue sky, or maybe it's peppered with little puffy clouds. Just kind of take in your garden for a moment. Feeling the earth stabilize you, calm your mind. In each corner of the garden, there is something different. In the left corner, in front of you, is a weeping willow. See how its graceful branches arch and trail to the ground. Look at the delicate green of each leaf as it is blown by a gentle breeze. In your mind's eye, explore the willow from the shape of its boughs to each tiny leaf. See the roots beneath the earth, drawing up the earth's energy just as you are. Visualize the tiniest details of the tree. Absorb the tree's strength into you And return your focus to the center of the garden where you sit still and unmoving. Now we focus on the right hand corner in front of you, where there is a beautiful rambling rose climbing over the wall. Explore the rose. What color are its flowers? Are they open to the sun? Are there buds that are closed? Do the flowers still have the morning dew on them? How high does the rose ramble? Does it spread wide across the wall? Is the wall made of brick or stone, or is it a wooden fence? Look more closely at the flowers. Are the petals as soft as velvet, or do they have a brilliant glossy sheen? Are the bees buzzing and gently sipping nectar? Visualize the rose in its entirety and in the smallest detail. Absorb its beauty into yourself. And return your focus to the center of the garden where you sit still and unmoving. Behind your right shoulder is a fountain. You don't need to turn to see it because you can hear the water, the playing of the water. Visualize the fountain. Is it grand with a great tower of water shooting into the air? Or is it a small fountain and its water splashing over pebbles? Is it on the ground, in a surrounding pool, or on a pedestal, or pouring out of a fountainhead on the wall into a pool below? Visualize your fountain. Are there birds coming to drink? Does the fountain splash the surrounding plants and grass with its life-giving water? Visualize your fountain in its entirety and in detail. And absorb its tranquility into yourself. Return your focus to the center of the garden where you sit still and unmoving. Behind your left shoulder is a fruit tree. You don't need to turn to see it because you can smell the scent of the fruit ripening in the sun. What sort of tree is it? Does it have apples, pears, cherries hanging from its boughs? Is it an orange or lemon tree? Does it have the heady scent of an exotic fruit such as mango or papaya? Visualize the fruit as ripe and juicy, ready to pick and eat. Does the tree give shade to the surrounding garden? Are there birds or animals such as squirrels or even monkeys feasting on its fruit? Visualize the fruit. See the sheen or the down of its skin. Visualize the sweet interior of the fruit. See the seed at its core, promising more life and more fruit. Visualize the fruit and the tree and absorb its nourishing sweetness inside yourself. Return your focus to the center of your garden where you sit still and unmoving. See the whole garden around you, the 3 plants and the fountain, and feel what they have given you. Visualize how you have absorbed their strength, beauty, tranquility, and nourishing sweetness. Be aware of how whole this makes you feel and how much stronger and how much more supported you are. Just take a few moments, few breaths to bask. And slowly start to shift to the here and now out of the visualization. And feel your body sitting here in your room. Loop your shoulders up and back. Just very gentle movements. And then we'll lie back and recline into Shavasana. If you'd like to take your bolster at the backs of your knees as you recline back, much like we do when we get a massage. And any arm position, scooch around, make yourself comfortable. And close your eyes. We just let our body drift into the nothingness. Nothing to add and nothing to take away. Just here. Whole body softens heavy. No effort. you have a little longer to allow yourself to linger, I definitely recommend it. It's an honor, always a privilege, and truly a pleasure. So much love, my friends. I bow to you and your beautiful practice. Namaste.